Hey everyone, welcome back to John's Watch. Today I'm taking a look at a new game called JDM Japanese Drift Master. This game was released on May 21st, 2025, and it's developed by Gaming Factory and published by Gaming Factory and for Divinity. This is, as you'd expect from the title, a driving car game, racing game, set in Japan. The Steam page description says, discover Japan's legendary car culture in JDM, take on challenging roads with refined simcade physics, immerse in the story through manga pages, and explore an open world inspired by stunning real-life areas. Every turn invites you to master the art of drift. So this is a game that's been on my radar for a little bit, mostly because I actually covered the demo for this game, which is very rare for me. I hardly ever cover demos, but in one of the next fests, the demo for this just jumped out to me, but probably because I like Japan. And I remember I played the demo, I did a video on it, and then I think I sat on the recording of that video for something like 5 months or something. I never needed the video, I didn't run out of videos, and like I said, I don't really cover demos, so it wasn't very high priority for me to release it. And eventually I did release it, and I think it did okay. And the game's just kind of always stuck with me since. So when it was finally time for it to release, I was very interested in it. And this might be a little bit of a shorter video because I did not get on well with this game at all. The short story, I didn't like this in the slightest. In the press release for it, I got, it said that it's compatible with quite a few steering wheel peripherals, which is great because I do have a steering wheel. I've got the Logitech G920, and I saw that particular one wasn't listed on the list of compatible peripherals, but two other Logitech ones were. So I thought there was a decent chance it would work, and it almost did, except for one key feature of driving just would not work with my wheel, and that was the reverse feature. I could accelerate, I could brake, I could obviously steer, I could trigger nitrous and stuff, could not reverse whatsoever. The game has this like automatic reversing feature, which you can toggle by either, if you hold the brake button, once you come to a full stop, your car will just start reversing while you're holding brake, which is quite intuitive, I like that. And then the other one is, I think it's if you like double tap the brake button, you'll start reversing right away. And no matter what settings I did, no matter how I tried to bind my controls, could not reverse while I had the steering wheel equipped, or connected to the computer. I tried binding it to like the clutch pedal, tried binding it to like up on my wheel's D-pad. I even tried binding it to the S key on my keyboard, which it took, but just would not work whatsoever. So I spent probably about 45 minutes trying to get the wheel to work, just unfortunately couldn't work, which ended up being good because the controls are very, very precise, and I do not think I would have been able to handle it with the wheel. So once I got into the game, it became very, very clear that the drift part of the title is the real key to the game here. And, you know, it probably should be. That should be pretty obvious because it is in the title. You have to drift constantly, and I sucked at drifting. I could not get the hang of it whatsoever, and it became very clear that is the key mechanic. You have to drift constantly. Even if you're doing a race, you have to drift the whole time. It started off with you just go to like a driving school and do a couple of classes. You know, I managed to pass them okay, and they were obviously all drifting focused. And I thought, okay, you know, I don't really like the drifting. Hopefully I can just race around and drive around the open world and be okay. And so I went to, I think it was the second story mission. I think the first story mission was literally drive to the driving school. And then the second story mission was drive to the sushi shop and deliver sushi. I was like, that sounds fun. I like the sound of that. And in this mission, you had to deliver your sushi within a time limit, keep the sushi in good condition by not crashing into things, and also get style points from drifting. And I was like, okay, whatever, you know, I'll get minimal style points, get the sushi there in good condition, and you know, get on to the next mission, because yeah, quite a cool mission, like the idea of that. Ended up crashing into a wall at like the second last turn, and took my sushi down from perfect condition to like almost destroyed or something. But whatever, it was still enough to pass the mission. And then the next mission, basically my character saw a rival drifter, and was like, okay, I'm gonna drift the crap out of this guy in my sushi delivery car. And it was just a short little race where you're racing against this guy, and in order to pass the mission, you had to complete 2 objectives at the same time. The first objective was to beat the guy in a race, pretty obvious, but the second one was to get more drift points than the rival. And I was like, okay, you know what, it's the third story mission, how hard can it be? And I then proceeded to fail this mission like 5 or 6 times in a row. I think I would finish the mission with like maybe like 2,000 drift points or whatever, and I would like look at the scoreboard, and like my rival's got like 6,400. I'm like, how can I do this? And just the one that I did pass, I just got really lucky, because I got a little bit better at the drifting, still not good at it at all, but my rival just randomly did really badly. So I easily managed to come in front of him, and I somehow managed to get more points than him. I was like, great, because I really thought I was going to have to give up and just do a very short video, because I couldn't get past the 3rd mission of the game. So I then drove off to the 4th mission of the game, which was race against 3 other rivals, beat them all, and get more drift points than all of them. And I was like, for God's sake. So I tried it twice, got nowhere close, and I was like, okay, this game is obviously not for me whatsoever. Really should have clued into the drift part of the title, but I didn't remember it being that key in the demo, but I'm sure it was. I just obviously liked the idea of driving cars around in Japan. So then just to finish off my playtime, I just drove around the open world a little bit, drove down to the big city. Unfortunately, it was all at night, so the footage is all really dark, but I didn't want to play this game any more than I felt I had to. I quite liked the driving in straight lines part, like along the highway. That was pretty fun. There are like these speed camera traps that you can drive by in the open world, and depending on how fast you're going, you get like a medal for it. And I saw this huge suspension bridge in the south of the map, and so I made it my end goal of playing this game was to get the gold medal on that speed trap, which is going over 200 kilometers an hour. So I managed to do that, and then I was like, great, I've had my fun, I'm done with this game, I'm gonna record my video. Because it's so focused on drifting, it felt just awful to control to me personally. You know, I'm used to like Euro Truck Simulator and Mario Kart, and like even when I wasn't trying to drift, the car would just start drifting all the time, and it just felt like I had no proper control over the car. People who love drifting and you know, these kind of sim-y racing games are probably gonna love this. But yeah, this was absolutely not for me whatsoever. I felt I couldn't really enjoy the environments, the setting of being in this really nice looking Japanese area, because I was so focused on trying to keep control of my car. So maybe I'll get to enjoy the visuals a little bit more when I'm editing it. I guess I just want to finish off by saying that this is obviously a huge work of passion for the devs. There's so much attention to detail has gone into this. On the loading screens, there's so many little, like, did you know facts about, like, Japanese drifting culture, which is obviously something I'm not interested in whatsoever, but yeah, it really speaks to how passionate and invested the devs are in that scene, and they really have made their dream game here. So yeah, not for me whatsoever. Maybe it'll be for you, but yeah, definitely bear in mind that this is very, very sim-y, and it's definitely very, very focused on the drifting part, which just wasn't fun for me personally, but might be for other people. There you go, that was a look at JDM Japanese Drift Master. Thank you guys very much for watching. Make sure you leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys later. Bye!